That night didn't start off strange. I was with some friends in Wellington, hanging out, catching up. I had every intention of leaving early, heading up north to stay with my family for a wedding. But as it happens, time got away from me. I left later than I'd planned, way later. I knew I had a long drive ahead of me, but I figured I could handle it. After all, I'd done it before. So there I was, leaving Wellington, heading north. The night was getting darker, the rain heavier, and by the time I hit the desert road, it was the early hours of the morning. Now, for those of you who don't know, the desert road is a remote stretch of State Highway 1 that cuts through the barren landscape of the central North Island. It's a desolate place, bordered by mountains and volcanic plains. The drive usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour, but that night it felt like an eternity. It was cold, the kind of cold that chills you to the bone. The rain was relentless, the wind howling through the mountain passes. My windscreen wipers were working overtime, but it barely made a difference. The road stretched on endlessly, and I was the only car out there. Despite this strange feeling creeping over me, I just shrugged it off. I assumed it was the rough weather conditions, the late hour, how tired I was from the long day. It didn't seem out of the ordinary. Just one of those drives where everything feels a little off because you've been up too long. I wasn't in a rush. Despite needing to be at my family's house as soon as possible, I didn't want to take any unnecessary risks in this increasingly bad weather. But as I drove, that feeling stuck with me. And then, I saw something. At first, I wasn't sure what I was seeing. I thought my mind was playing tricks on me, just shadows in the rain. But it wasn't. Illuminated by a sudden blast of lightning, this thing was running parallel to the road through the barren landscape. It was maybe 10 to 15 meters away from the car, but I wasn't completely sure due to the heavy rain obscuring my view. I shook my head as if to clear it of the strange sight. I pressed onwards, ignoring what I thought I saw. It was maybe another 500 meters down the road when lightning struck again. I saw the ominous shadow once more. It seemed to now be closer to the side of the road as it kept pace with my car. I put my foot down, speeding up, hoping it would disappear, but the thing was fast. Faster than anything I'd ever seen. It was there, running alongside me, just out of sight. No matter how much I sped up, it didn't fall behind. It was right there, and it felt like it was watching me. My heart was pounding. I didn't want to look, but I couldn't help it. I glanced out the side window. And there it was. It seemed closer now. This massive hulking figure, covered in thick, matted hair. It looked wrong. Inhuman. And it was keeping pace with my car. Now, I'd heard stories before about this stretch of road. There's a local myth about a creature some call the Goatman, said to roam many rural areas and has supposedly been seen along the desert road. A monstrous figure, part man, part beast. But I never believed it. Not until that night. I know this was a strange conclusion to draw, but the many ridiculous stories family members had told me over the years about the Goatman came flooding back. I slowed down, thinking maybe if I went slower, it would just go away. And for a second I thought it had. The thing was gone. Just rain and the sound of my engine. I pulled over and sat completely still. All I could see was the relentless heavy rain continuing to come down on my windscreen. The road immediately in front of my car was illuminated by my headlights. I sat there for 5 minutes, maybe 10. I'm not sure how long it had been, but I started to laugh nervously. Surely my exhaustion was getting to me, and I had only been seeing things in the rain as it distorted around my speeding car. I let out a breath thinking it was over. My nerves had calmed a bit, so I decided to continue my journey. I started to speed up again along the desert road, a wary eye on the barren landscape around me. But the moment I sped up again, it was back. And this time, it was closer. I could feel the car shaking as it ran alongside me. Then, I hit a turn. I heard it before I felt it, a sickening thud as the thing hit the side of my car. The whole vehicle shook and I nearly lost control. I didn't look, didn't stop. I just kept driving. Faster and faster. I wasn't going to stop for anything. Eventually the road straightened out and the thing, it was gone. Disappeared into the night just like that. The rest of my journey was a blur brought on by exhaustion and fear. I didn't stop until I pulled into my family's driveway. When I got out of the car, I didn't want to look. I didn't want to see the damage, but I had to know. And there it was. A dent right there in the side panel. Proof that whatever chased me out there, whatever collided with my car, it was real. I don't like to admit it, and it wasn't my proudest moment, but I crumbled by the side of my car as my legs gave way under me. That's about when my parents came out to greet me, their smiles turning to concern as they saw the state of me. Could there really be something out there lurking in the shadows of the desert road? Maybe, maybe not. But whatever chased Tim that night, one thing's for sure, it left its mark. What do you think Tim saw on the desert road? Have you ever heard of the Goatman, or had a strange encounter on an empty road? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next unsettling tale.